I remember the day you sent me a text asking if I wanted to be a part of this, and honestly, I thought it was just going to be something related to the book, something small. So I said, sure, why not? As the date approached, and I realized what it was, and he sent more information out and said, hey, you're going to be in a documentary. There's going to be some questions. There's going to be a group discussion. I fell apart. I've never opened up about my past or the struggles or the moment where life falls apart for you and you just don't see a way out. And so doing that was nerve-wracking, extremely challenging. The moment that we were doing the group discussion, a friend of mine, a coworker, that I've known for years, and we had lunch every single day. He took his life. We had discussed the things that we had gone through, what we were feeling that week, what challenges we were facing. He lost the battle within his head. And so I think when we had that group discussion, it was an opportunity for me to put it out there and let somebody know what had happened and what was going on. Because as the weeks went by, I didn't hear from him. I would text him. And the next thing I knew, there was an obituary for him. And so, as nerve-wracking as it was, I don't regret a single moment of it.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I just want to say for all the fathers, I appreciate how vulnerable y'all were in front of a camera because that is not easy. I know how hard and uncomfortable that was, so thank you for making my job easy and Clay's.
Yeah, so for me, being vulnerable is something I have to learn, but I think it's very important, being vulnerable, that way they can't use it against you, right? So, so that was an easy thing. That's my best friend, so he asked me to do it. It was a quick yes for me, so do I regret it? Not at all. I got nephews, I got 2 sons. I want them to grow up knowing that fatherhood is important and being in being there for your, being in the lives of your kids is very important and they need that. So watching this film, hopefully, a lot of kids can take that and learn from it.
So I think the question was, why did I decide to do this? Because you asked me to. So for those of you that don't know, I've known Clay and Osai since they were like 12 years old. They played football for me as in middle school. They played football for me in at the beginning of high school. I maintained a relationship, rather loose one a little bit, because we all grow up. They grow up, become men, start their own lives. But I've maintained a relationship, a friendship with them since the day that we met. I actually coached 2 of his older brothers, Osai's older brothers. So all it took was for Clay to ask me. I don't even remember how we started talking about this.
It was a Facebook post.
It was a Facebook post. And, since we started having the conversation, the relationship that he and I had when he was in high school and middle school has just kind of re-blossomed itself. We spend a lot of time talking to one another. I don't have sons. I have daughters. But I got a lot of sons, and I'm just proud of you for being the man that you all of you all have become. Do I regret it? No, absolutely not. At the premiere, I was able to have 2 of my daughters and my wife with me, and when we walked out, my family is real hard. I got a bunch of jokesters and they don't cut corners. They had a lot of jokes for things that they saw and way that they saw Dad. But one thing that they said was that they were proud of me. So that's my answer.
For me, I would say, one, I piggyback off what Coach said, because you asked. I don't think I had any other options. One, I'm known, like, I am known for being mute unless I'm mad. And then you see another side of me that I don't even like. For two, Clayton, I didn't tell you this completely, but we talked about it briefly. When I met you in 9th grade, I got to understand your story. And it's easy to do something like this with somebody that you have things in common with. You got goals. You have a beautiful wife. You stand on business. And you mean well, even though it might come off wrong sometimes. And it's a support thing, man. And it made it easy for me personally because I married your sister. Amongst other things, but yeah, it's easy to do something like this to let your vulnerability out because it's counseling for me, personally. And I'm always with helping somebody else, which you do very well. And it's principle. You know, why not? Like I tell you all the time, whatever I can do, I'm going to do. And I'm not going to say, I'm going to do something if I'm not. You know, as men, we only got two things, our word and we know what the other one is. You know, and like I said, I'm here, I'm locked in, and yeah, it was easy. It was easy for me. It was an easy yes, and it's always going to be an easy yes. So whatever I can do to give back and to help some others that's coming after me, I'm always going to do it because that's just the man that I am. I needed it. So everything we don't get, we supposed to give back. Simple for me. You know, I advise people to do it because you need it. When you have children, when you have wives, when you have siblings, family ties, it's tough and it's not easy. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, one of the things that really stuck out to me is when Kurt said, "Never give up on them kids." Because and it was funny because when the first time I saw it in a clip, I was dealing with one of my 4 daughters, the one who I probably spent the most time with because she was an athlete and we traveled all over the United States when she was playing ball, and then when she went to college, traveling all over watching her games. We had a falling out a week after my mom passed away. My mom passed away in 2020, Christmas morning 2020, and we didn't speak, even though, you know, I apologize for my part of the argument, but we didn't speak until the week, that picture where you saw me sitting in front of my 4 daughters, that was the first time that we had spoken in person since 2020. And it was just that I had to give her space, and it was at her time. But because I had heard Kurt say, "Never give up on those kids," it also gave me the strength to say, you know what, it's gonna happen. Because I love her, and I know she loves me. She's just stubborn like her mother. She didn't learn that from me. But that, you know, just that whole mindset, you know, people are different. People make mistakes. People have differences of opinion. And, you know, I learned from you all as much as you all, I think, learned something from me.
For me, going back to what DeMarco said about generational fatherhood and hearing these guys' stories, just reinforced, because like I said in the film, I had a father, he was a good father, and just seeing the effect that he had on other kids growing up, Clayton can contest to that, you know. A lot of dudes looked at him as their father growing up, and he was only around them, you know, very minimum, so that's the kind of effect that a real man can have in an effect, and, you know, kids growing up, and because it's a struggle out here, especially if you don't got a father in your life. So that was the thing that was reinforced to me, how important it is to be in the lives of these kids. So that was it for me.
For me, I come from a single mom. She had me when she was 15 in high school, and from 15 on, she'd worked 2 jobs. Even still to this day, she does not have to. She still works 2 jobs, and that's kind of where I get my hustle from. But not having my dad around, it helped me understand, you know, what it honestly at a young age. And I don't wish this on anybody, but I had to grow up fast, and it taught me how to be a man fast. I'm the oldest of 7, now 10, because my dad just got married. I'm 22, I just turned 22. My parents are 38. Yeah, see some of y'all faces, I'm like, yeah. And to be able to be in a room doing what I'm doing, it's like, it's a testimony in itself from both of my parents, because although I didn't have my dad, they both instilled a lot of tools in me. They both taught me a lot of lessons, and they taught me how to be a human and see other people as human beings. And it's gotten me so far in life to where I can't, I see, you know, I jump around. Clay, he texted me, and when he texted me about this film, I immediately was like, absolutely, because I know how many guys, how many even young ladies look like me, look like us in this room, and they don't have their father around. And it's like, this needs to be talked about, and if I can help in any way possible to change others' lives, I will do so. So that's why I chose to do this.
Has anything changed? Taken anything away? The realization.
Oh, pause. This is actually your first time seeing the film.
This is.
So it probably hits differently for you than the rest of it, so.
Thanks for putting that out there. You can go wait in the hall. I bet you that's not the first time you heard that, huh? High school, college, yeah.
Throughout the whole life.
For all of those that don't know, Clay and I share the same birthday, same year. I think when we met each other at Farmers, we looked at each other and we kind of have the same attitude, right? I was like, who's this guy? Why is he staring me down? Mind your business. Eventually, we got together one day and we realized we were probably in the same group of friends at one point or another. Life has a funny way to bring you together at the moment that it needs to. And I think that's what happened in this situation. Realizing that I wasn't alone, that I didn't go through the things that I'm going through alone, that years before, generations before have gone through it, and being able to lean on these individuals and open up and talk about things is what I took away. I'm the oldest of 5, but within the last few years, we've all probably gone our ways. We all have our family. We didn't talk very much. Holidays, of course. But after this, I just took a vacation with my brother, something I haven't done. I'm 40 years old. Never traveled with them. It was an experience. What I took away is that it's okay to talk about the things that you are feeling, to lean on other individuals, to open up a little bit, and to build those relationships. Because even though we say it, walk in each other's shoes, you don't know what they're going through. Unless you talk about it, you really don't. All right. And so this was an opportunity. And it turned out wonderful. Good job.
Well, I have a 1, 2, and a 3-year-old, so they ain't saying too much. They probably think about Cocomelon or something, you know. But when they grow up and they do watch the film, I hope they take away how important it is. Like I said, I continue to say how important it is to be in their lives, you know, for the entirety of their lives, you know. It was always instilled in me, and I would instill it in them. I got a father. He got a woman pregnant in Vietnam when he was in war. So when we was growing up, you always said, hey, you might have a kid, a brother out there, or a sister, you know. And after 46 years, we actually found him. Yeah, so, and he always told us, like, you never gave up on him. We found him, reunited, it was a beautiful moment, but yeah, you can never give up on them. You got to be there, even if you don't know they were there. Yeah, you can't give up on them.
Well, I don't have any kids, but I do have siblings, as I mentioned. I was fortunate enough to have 3 of them there, and we all have a relationship with our dad still to this day. But one thing, my dad was there. One thing that my dad said to me was, thank you. And it was funny because I texted this to him. I was like, there's a message I hope that you see in the movie. I'm not saying it to you, but I hope you understand where we as a family, as my siblings, where we're coming from. So it's almost like a personal connection to this film for me, to my dad, since he wasn't there. But he said to me, he was just like, thank you for, you know, being the voice for me and the family, because it's not always easy for me to, you know, voice to the kids because they may not always understand. So to be able to do this was awesome.
Neither of my kids are here, or have they watched the film. They know I'm in it. But unfortunately, my daughter doesn't reside with me or near here. But my son was at track practice, so he couldn't come. But what I think they would say, I hope, is the truth, what they actually feel. Because if I don't know, then I'm not gonna be able to do the best that I can for them. So I've always asked them to be honest. I've always asked them to push back, to not let me push on them just because I'm the father, but to be honest and tell me what they actually feel, what they actually think, give me their true opinion. Because when they get out in the world, they'll need that. They won't be able to sugarcoat it. They won't be able to accept people's excuses, per se. And they'll need to be able to speak up in whatever situation they find themselves in. So what I hope they tell me is exactly what they feel and what they think. If they look at a part and go, that's not true, then I know I screwed up and I gotta change something, right? Or, and vice versa, they said, hey, yeah, that's what you've given us. Then I know I've done well. But hopefully soon they'll be able to see it. We'll be putting it on the platform, right?
One more showing after this one, and then, yeah, I'm still working on the whole platform thing. Got some SRP issues still that I'm trying to figure out, but it'll be on the platform at some point, whether that's Netflix or YouTube. It'll be there by July. Like that's my goal. I told Avari, like, when I hired him and he finished it, and I said, I'm gonna take you as far as I can take you, and we aiming for Netflix. So that's my goal. That's our goal. If we don't, it'll be on YouTube for everybody to be able to see. But I just feel like the film's too good to not be on one of those platforms.
Any other questions, perspectives?
Changed me. in the sense that I can reach out, and in the sense that I'm not afraid to talk about what is happening or recognize it, right? We work with other individuals, we interact with other individuals, and you might ask them, how was your day? It's all right. How was your weekend? It was fine. What did you do? Oh, not much. You start realizing that maybe some of those short answers are deflectors, are answers because they don't feel safe to talk to somebody. Shortly after the first round of interviews at work, I was talking to a gentleman, and just along the same conversation, how's the weekend? Oh, great, you're gonna watch this, that, whatnot. And there was a response he gave, and I don't exactly remember what it was that I realized. I said, hey, are you okay? Yeah, well, you know, I did this thing just this past week, and this is what it was about. We talked about X, Y, Z. I'm so nervous. I put myself out there so that he could feel comfortable. Come to find out, him and his spouse at that moment were going through some situations. He was going through a rough patch. We were able to talk, and to this day, we still have discussions. We talk about things that we're feeling, we talk about things that we're thinking. His kids are a lot younger than mine, so he does ask, hey, you know, did you go through this? What do you think is the best thing to do? I have no clue. Wing it. But I can tell you, you gotta be there. You gotta be there. So, is it infectious? Yeah. What did it change? The ability to talk about it, the ability to have others talk about it, and let somebody know you're there.
Issues with my parents about my childhood and my upbringing, so it was cool to learn more about them. But for me, more so per se, I would say what I took from this and what changed me was the ability to risk take and not be afraid to, you know, do things that I think others might not like. For me, like after this opportunity, I was able to go to my alma mater, my high school and my elementary school, and speak to the kids and give back. So that was an honor to do, and I'm just honored to be able to have like these are now my role models, to be able to, you know, every month be able to go sit with them and listen to the things they have to say and the things they're going through, and to learn from them every month is like, it's an honor. So thank you guys. Thank you, gentlemen.
For me, just the upbringing that I had, it made me understand it a little more with my father growing up, saying, you know, that I did have a good father. He was there for me. Sometimes that, you know, hey, you didn't make it to this football game or blah, blah, blah. You know, listening to these guys' stories, and some of them have fathers that wasn't around or was, you know, was there but wasn't present, you know. So all of that good put in perspective. And as far as my kids, I just try to be there a little bit. Like I said, they're young. So coming in the house, sometimes I work 6 days, I work a lot of hours sometimes. I still try to show them attention, even if I'm tired when I walk in the house. For me, that's what it is, just being there for them. Be a little more present when even if you're tired and stuff like that, just being more present for your kids. So.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to piggyback on what Victor talked about. So when you start thinking about,
Well, I wasn't able to do that because I didn't realize how expensive it was. Sorry, this is a long answer, but it's been a crazy experience. But so fast forward, my sophomore year in college, I'm actually in my dorm, and I had this all planned out. I got the dorm as a solo on purpose because I knew I was going to be running my operation out of there, but I couldn't tell them that because I would have got in trouble. But I had my photo booth was my whole back wall of my room. My bed was a twin on the side wall, but then I had my sewing machine, my monitor, and then my cameras and stuff. So basically, high school or sophomore year of college, till now has been like my turning point. Since then, I've been able to have 2 NBA athletes wear something from my brand, 1 NFL athlete,